Tom. I'm a third-year SBS student at York. I'm here with Hugh Bailey. How about you introduce yourself?
My name's Hugh Bailey. I was a student here, postgraduate student, about 40 years ago. I wrote a thesis about African trade unions. I came back about 25 years ago. I taught in the social policy department and in the politics department here, and worked as a researcher in the economics department. Then I was elected to Parliament, and I've been MP for York for about a bit over 20 years.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to say today?
At the moment, I'm the president of the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, elected by 250 MPs from 28 NATO countries to lead this organisation. We act as a parliamentary sounding board for NATO. For instance, when there was a summit in Newport in Wales, I got to speak at the plenary session to say what members of Parliament wanted NATO leaders, the presidents and prime ministers from our countries, to agree. And I'll be talking largely about the role that NATO plays as a peacekeeper.
What relevance do you think that'll have to students and young people today?
I'm 60, over 60. My father lost his entire youth as a soldier in the Second World War. My grandfather lost his entire youth fighting as a soldier in the First World War. One of the charts I'll be using this afternoon shows the numbers of British service men and women who died in the First World War, the Second World War, and in all the wars since the Second World War. And you see it's a massive, massive reduction in the threat to young British people, so that compared with the Second World War and all the wars since, we've had 1/500th of the casualties. Compared with the First World War, 1/1500th of the casualties. So it's to look at the way that politics, trade policy, economic policy, foreign policy, defence and security policy can be used to make the world a safer place, so fewer people lose their life in conflicts. And the figures I've been talking about are just about servicemen and women. You think about all the civilians and all the people from other countries who have died in these conflicts, and, well, we have to do something to make sure that we don't return to the carnage that was the first half of the 20th century.
Thank you, Hugh Bailey.